How's it, guys? This cold front and this wind has definitely made a lot of trouble for us. Man, look at this. This is the kind of stuff you only see in the deep ocean. But yeah, fishing out of the question for the next couple days. I believe from Tuesday onwards we'll be able to fish. But the sea is angry, boys. Not gonna happen. Just look at that. That is massive big waves coming down on the coastline. But these things need to happen so that all the rubbish can get washed away, I guess, or washed out of the ocean for us to clean up. So as you can see, boys, not happening, not at the moment. There is some northeasterly coming through. I think Sunday and Monday. So from Tuesday onwards, things should calm down. The ocean should be fishable, I hope. But the south coast at the moment is a bit of a hiccup. You'll be very lucky if you do get something. Hey, let me run away here. The water is chasing me here. So yeah, next week I think we'll be able to fish. I missed out on Tuesday. It was the perfect day. I was up in Durban and the ocean was flat all the way from the south coast way up all the way into Belito, and I didn't fish. So I hope you guys got some decent fish on the good day. After that everything changed and here we are looking at an angry ocean. There is still some sardines around. I saw a lot of birds dive in the morning, but they're too far out to film, but way out behind the shark nets, so there is still fish moving through. So hopefully by next week when everything settles, we might get hooked up again and bend a rod. Now boys, the wind is seriously bad. 40 plus k's an hour, and it's bumping now. Now there's no fish nowhere to be seen. Okay guys, I found a spot where I can hide from the wind. Lucian, there's a Manaba tidal pool and you can see it's all out hectic, but I still see bird activity, but way in deep. They dive, not diving on a shoal, but they fly and dive, so there is fish around, I guess. Otherwise I won't be diving into the ocean. So there are fish around, but this sea is gonna take a while to settle, boys. Guys, even though the ocean don't allow us to fish, you gotta remember one thing though. Necron Property Management will still manage and maintain your property. Like I said, they are big in the industry. They have thousands of properties that they look after and maintain. So guys, give them a call in the corner here. Just send an SMS, they'll call you back, boys. Man, even the gullies are destroyed. Bad. Let's keep the fingers crossed the next couple days. The wind will come right. Say out to Margate, it's white water everywhere. No one fishing. Sad story, I'm itching. I can't sit at home like this. It's killing me. Margate Pier. Aye. Better days will come soon, boys, soon. It's hectic. Okay guys, believe it or not, still there are people entering the fishing market every day, and I get a lot of questions on how do I do this, how do we catch shad, what do I need to catch shad. So I'll show you 4 different ways. I'm sure there are many more, but these ones work well for me to catch shad. First of all, you're going to use a ground bait. So you have a little 3-way swivel, a little bit bigger if you want, and onto it you tie a sinker. 2 ounce, 3 ounce should be enough. about 20 centimeters down, and then you have a little line with a float, and you have your shad trace. So the correct way is to push the float all the way onto the swivel so that it doesn't move. So you'll put your bait on the trace, tie it up with your cotton, and you'll have a ground bait that works well. It sits in the ground and your bait will be floating up here, and that'll give it the swimming effect. So ground trace, that's the first one. So this you'll use when you're up on a high spot like High Rock and Belito, or Market Pier can work where you need to get a little bit of distance. The weight will certainly help you to get it out there. Then my personal favorite is just a drift bait. Drift bait, you need your shad trace. So a number 4/0 hook, a little bit of steel wire. It's about 150 long. You don't need to be that long because the fish will only bite at the back here. And then a small little sliding weight that you put on. And for me, that works the best. It's my favorite to do. So you just put a little sliding sinker, and you'll take your trace, and you'll just tie it on here however you need to tie the knot. I just turn it a couple of times and stick it through the loop and pull it straight. And then you set. There you go. The weight is just to get the sardine to sink a little bit. So that, and you keep on reeling slowly so that the bait moves. So that's the second one. The third option is to fish with a top bung. See a lot of guys do that. You get these bungs in a polystyrene that you can buy from your tackle shops. This one is something that I made long time ago. So you'll need about a meter of line. Around about a meter is enough. You'll tie it to the bottom of your bung. And then you can, if you want, put a small sinker just to help the bait sink, but it's not necessary to have this done. It's just an option. And then again, tie the trace to it. Just wind it a couple of times. So what you'll have is your trace and your top bung. So when you cast, this will float on the surface and your trace will sink down about a meter. This works very well. The bung has got a little bit of weight, gets you the casting distance. Yet again, tie your sardine, put the hook as close to the fish's tail as possible, because the shad bites from the back, and you can trim the tail as well so that the hook sits nicely at the end of the sardine. They always chow them from the back most of the time. So that's three ways: ground bait, drift bait, or use a top bung. And then obviously you can use a spoon. Any type of shiny spoon, I guess, will work well. Just cast it and retrieve it at a fair speed so it gives the movement of an injured fish. And then as soon as we can have these guys on the market, I'm trying to push the tackle shops to buy some. So when these things or these lures get onto the market, they work very well. It's 3 ounces, you get a long cast out of it, and they work well. The hook is just a little bit big, but we'll see when the bigger shad arrives. We'll see how that works. And just another tip, guys, on your fishing rod, I'm using an 8-foot rod. You don't need a big 10, 12-foot rod. I use only an 8-foot rod to catch shad. It's a light setup, so you can cast a drift bait. Find a space on your rod and measure 300. So then you know when you catch a shad, you don't always have a ruler with you. So find a space on your rod that you are familiar with. Like me, from the end of this rod holder to the end of my grip, that's exactly 300. So if I do get a shad, I quickly hold it against the rod. If the nose sticks over and the tail lines up, it's good to go. So simple thing, you don't need an expensive setup, just a grinder reel, 20-pound line is more than enough, and an 8-foot rod, boys. That's all you need. Use a spoon, use a top bung trace. You can use a drift bait like I normally do. I just tie straight to my main line like that with a little sinker, or you can use a bottom trace with a sinker and a little 3-way swivel. That's the 4 main traces that's being used. I'm sure there are many other ways that you can. I see in Australia they do it different, in America they do it different, but this is South Africa and this is how we do it. So guys, just for some information, when the sea settles next week and we can start to fish, definitely the shad will be coming in. One of these 4 ways will definitely get you onto a fish. Thanks guys, thanks for the support. Thanks to those guys who subscribed and support me from the beginning. Thanks so much guys, I'll see you soon.